doesn't that music sound lovely? I love that, and it's who's this made by? This is made by Fear of Dark, and I just stumbled upon this channel. The guy uses trackers in order to make his music, which, just watching the tracker go through, gorgeous. And I think I'm going to be playing a lot more chiptune music for my corruption streams, which have been far and thin thus far, but we're hoping to do a little bit more coming in the future. But I'll get more on that later. We'll get started in a few minutes here with first some panel work. I just need to fix up some of my corruption panels. We had a new release of the Real-Time Corruptor, and then following that we're going to do some Sunset Riders corruptions. So stick around for that. How's it going? Every time I switch scenes, my OBS freaks out for a second. It freezes my mouse, and I'm afraid the stream's about to go down. It didn't go down. The music has 12 seconds on it left, so we're going to bring that down and switch songs while we work on panels. You can kind of see a lot of our corruption panels are missing. And Bullshit Plays, how's it going? Hello, hi guys, I'm here to lurk. Also, I love the background music right now. Exactly, I love the background music, and I gotta say, check it out. Fear of Dark is a channel I've been watching lately. I think I'm gonna be doing more chiptune music when I start off, but I stumbled upon this guy because I watch tracker videos, and it's lovely. Love it a lot. But yeah, hope you're doing well. That was a little loud. Bullshit Plays, a member of Odd Brew who plays some very interesting, some very amazing games in their own rights. So go check out Bullshit Plays. I don't have my chat bot up, I don't think. I gotta get that ready. I've fallen so out of practice with streaming lately. It's probably been, I would say, a week, and then only a day the week before that I actually streamed. University has been kicking my ass so far, so I've been busy with that. But yeah, for sure. I was gonna see if I can pull up the chat bot. It's a little slow. But yeah, go check out Bullshit Plays, twitch.tv/bullshit with a 1 plays. There's a vocal shout out, if you will. Just for the beginning of the stream, I'm going to be working on the panels that are usually around me when I do my corruption streams. There's a brand new version of the Real-Time Corruptor that just hit... Can you say retail? Just hit retail. Just hit the consumers. So they're all using that. So I gotta pull that up, and we're gonna slowly build up all the panels I usually use. And we'll also decide what ones we want, because we have a new tool available to us that we're gonna be playing around with. Let me see if I can get that up. And I don't know how this would go through to stream. Oh, maybe I should start fresh, actually. I think I'm gonna do that. So, start fresh, a brand new scene. I'm gonna call this RTC Corruptions Part 2. And buy my camera, because we're starting completely fresh. Let me get a video capture device up in here. Add existing, is this my right one? Oh, it's backwards. Oh, that's weird. That's how they come in by default, so let's go and flip this guy around. Oh. And don't hit shift when you're doing it. We're gonna plop me down there while I'm working on this. Get a little introspection. How about... Yeah, let's keep it down there. Next up, I might play around with my scene ordering. RTC Corruptions, I'm gonna put towards the top. So now we need the actual game itself, also known as the BizHawk window. So I'm gonna do a window capture for that, and we're just gonna call it like game capture, but I think I already got an existing panel for it. Let's see. Does this capture? Captures my browser, which it's not supposed to be doing. Good thing I don't have anything too terrible on there. I got YAR folder and Squirt, which Squirt is a nice like little GUI JavaScript program that helps you read all the text on a site very quickly. But that's not what I want to capture. I want to capture... not the RTC launcher, although I can show this off. This is the new launcher that's included with the newest version of RTC, 351. I think 350 is the actual consumer retail version. I'm using 351 because I think they might have had a bug fix on it. I didn't see the Discord to see if there was one, but yeah, if you're interested in corruption stuff, go check out, to say it on here, Red Scientist Media or redscientist.com, because they're the ones to make these amazing software kits that I utilize a lot. And Dolphin as well. His special version of Neri's mod is the one I'm utilizing. But on this, I can kind of point at stuff, I guess. Oh, nope, because I'm the lowest window. There we go. So the newest thing that we're going to be utilizing is this window volume limiter, which I know Neri talked about on one of the Vinesauce streams, where he wants to create a utility that you can use for multiple programs, not just corruption streams and stuff like that. But it will be so if you have a really loud audio spike, it will limit it off. So it won't go as loud, it will bring it down, it'll sort of equalize the volume, which you could use an equalizer with your already input audio, but it's just nicer to have it all within the app itself. See here it says monitors the level of process and caps the volume through the mixer if it goes over a certain threshold or certain amounts. Very nice. I think that's fantastic, and you're going to get to see what that looks like once we get that rolling. We're going to be using the real-time corruptor there at the top left. I won't be messing around with the Dolphin kill switch or the Dolphin itself, because we'll use those for other streams, and those haven't changed very much. Same with the Windows Glitch Harvester on the far right. But anyways, this launcher looks a lot nicer than it used to. I can actually switch over. Our old launcher, previously, it didn't have this very nice window surrounding it. It just kind of looked like this, with a big old start button, and it's like, start the corruptor, good luck. So I think it looks very nice and presentable now. I like a lot of the stuff they've done with it. So let's go ahead and start working with this. I'm gonna open up BizHawk, which I already have running. That was the thing I was worried about capturing. So let me see if that's an available option. Yes, it is. Here's the BizHawk window in all its glory. And the special thing about the BizHawk window that we capture, we can't do a game capture, we can only do a window capture, so the bottom bit here we usually cap off and the top. It's a nice emulator. I use it for everything from corruption streams to just streaming anything from like NES to PlayStation, I think, is the latest system I would do on it. It does support PlayStation, and I prefer it over PSX, the emulator, because I'm familiar with this one. It makes save states easy, and you can easily swap between video renderers and whatnot. Okay, I'll stick myself down here. I'd like this to fill the majority of the screen. If we need to, we can make it a little bit smaller if we gotta stick some windows down below. But normally, I never find enough windows to stick down there that are legible that I see that being worthwhile. The only other alternative kind of thing we would do is maybe take like a paint.net file, like a big PNG, and sort of outline these boxes. I've always not been in favor of that, and I know a lot of people do like that. Like Skycoasterman will do that. He has some amazing looking panels, and I do not knock him for doing that. Bullshit also has some amazing looking panels. Nintendo Fam, people like that. I mean, they have good borders and they look fantastic because you can tell there's a lot of hard work put into them. I'm stuttering over my speech a lot, I should slow down a tad. But I don't like that personally because I think it takes away from the space I could be utilizing, and usually I have a lot of windows on stream just because I like showing off a lot of what I'm doing around the behind the scenes. So I'm gonna make this full for the time being. That was a long explanation for not a lot of content. I think I'm gonna keep myself small. I might even make myself smaller if need be, because the only other ratio would be much larger. It'd be like this. And I don't like showing off like a very big picture of me. I don't think it's needed. I think later on, if I ever get something I could chroma key like this and stick it behind me. Even this is tiny. I thought this might be big enough to get like behind my head, but no. I need like a big green sheet. So I won't be doing that for a while. I also need a way to hang the sheet. I guess I could use some like cheap adhesive or something, but I'm not in favor of it. This wall is the exact same skin color I am. It like matches me very closely. I'm a little tan on the hand, but yeah. So I can't chroma key myself out. It's okay for the most part though. It keeps me into a box. What I can do is I can minimize my sides a tad. But again, I don't really think that's needed, like this, because I'm still kind of too small, and I'd have to size myself up like this. I don't really like that. Now it's just even more detailed and it's bigger, so let's not do that. So let's make all those corners big. And let's make a little tiny stand. There we go. Alright. Corruption windows. That's what we're working on now. Let's get those windows up. Something I've learned is to hide my @here notifications. So if you're anyone that might be lurking, I'm part of a team Discord. I think we mentioned this a little bit earlier with Bullshit Plays and Wasabi Sonic. We have the Discord in case you're curious to checking that out. There's links in the panel down below. And I was just noticing I get @here notifications, @everyone notifications like crazy in other Discords. And they're I don't want to say they're annoying, but they can get on my nerves, and I imagine it gets on other people's nerves too. So as much as I can, I limit that within Oddbrew, because if you want to stop by and you want to look at a little bit of Oddbrew, go for it. I'm not trying to force that upon you. I'm not trying to give you a ping notification. Unless I'm really trying to reach out to you and I say, @this person, not worried about it. Also, hopefully you're enjoying the music. I think I'm going to stick with Animal Crossing. Otherwise I do some Stardew. So, corruption windows. Something I'm going to do before I start capturing it. Well, let's actually just take a look at the corruption window, because I don't share that very often either. And since we're going to be doing it almost completely from scratch, man, I have a lot of existing windows in my list. Like, as you go along, if someone here isn't streaming, when you create different windows, like window captures and stuff like that, it will save a list of ones that you've created previously. And I'm usually really good at naming them, so I'll use unique names for everything. But this list has like 40 elements within it. I'm going to call this RTC window full, and we're going to delete it after I use it. So actually that's perfect. So this is what the corruption window normally looks like, and I always cut this down because it's a lot of information that you don't need. Stuff that we do not utilize. Can I write over this? No. Myself on top again. I do not use the advanced memory tools at all. It would be fantastic to use if I was going for a very direct attack. So, for example, Mother 3, if I wanted to look at all the memory addresses, they're all probably mapped, and a lot of them have information on what they do, like corrupt here to corrupt the audio of this section, or corrupt here to corrupt those sprites and stuff like that. Or maybe they don't say it in corruption terms, but this is what's stored at that location. I can utilize that information to create some like custom memory domains, which, let me actually make sure I'm talking in the right sense. So I can do a virtual memory domain, a pool, or I can create generators for that. I'm actually not sure what these other ones are. I know people have been utilizing these. I've seen people mention it in the Discord. Completely goes over my head. I'm not sure what they're talking about. So we won't be messing with those. I leave them alone. I go for the good old just random corruption attack. We usually will, for RTC corruption streams, these streams, I usually will take like this entire window to a degree out. Probably just the blast type. We might not need the minimum value because we usually stick at 0 to FF unless we're really trying to get specialized and we're like, okay, we know 0 to F will corrupt, but anything above F breaks it. That's when we might get very rigorous about this. So we'll take like this portion, and that's about it. We don't need the precision. If we wanted to update it, we could, but I would just do that without notifying the audience. Oh, we can detach windows now. Ooh. That's nice if I just want to float the windows around. That's super nice. I can, oh, every window too. I don't even need this thing open. I imagine I do. I can just minimize it and break the windows apart. That actually kind of makes it easier for capturing. Anyway. General intensity, we're going to get all of this, including the blast radius, which they've now, I think there's less here. No, normalized, that's the maximum. So there's all the options for that. Of course, we're going to capture all the memory domains. We may cut it a tad. And that's it. We'll also capture the blast buttons. Yeah, I don't think we need anything else there. Game protection we might enable, but that'd be off stream. Okay. Ah, and there goes all our windows, and worth noting, because it is of a similar title, RTC, it will automatically capture this window if I have it open, which is very bad because now, if I open up the corruption window again, Bizarre. BizHawk is not captured. It will not switch to the correct task because this one technically hasn't crashed yet. Bad. And that goes for any kind of game. If you have a game that keeps on switching to, say, the launcher, and every time you launch it, every time that game crashes, it switches back to the launcher and you can't get a switch back. It's something within the source's properties. You have to make sure the Windows titles match exactly instead of the executable. In which case you would just double click it and hit match priority. Window titles must match. Anyway, so this is being captured. I'm going to delete that, and we're going to bring over some of our other windows, because I do want to grab a couple of these. Which I was hoping they would pop up. Corruption windows. Oh, I think I gotta manually enable all of them. I'm gonna take all these windows though, copy them, and bring them over to our new window, which looks very similar in my opinion, but we'll add the other stuff in later. We're gonna add a duplicate. If we made a reference, we would be editing the previous entry, the previous reference. Okay, that's all set. When you switch windows, BizHawk doesn't like being nice, OBS doesn't like being nice, and you have to manually find each window and retarget it, which we're having to do now. So there's that window. I'm gonna make sure the window title must match for BizHawk, so that is always BizHawk and nothing else but BizHawk. And the boundaries of this window need to be perfect, so what I've actually been using, and this is stupid, I hate that I have to do this. I wish it was a lot easier, and I don't think it is. Tools, it's not. So, in order to get the windows that I put on here pixel perfect, I'm having to open up a Windows program called Magnifier. And if you ever had like maybe a grandmother or someone who's very elderly need assistance with their computer, they probably have used Magnifier in one sense or another. There's a bunch of ways you can use it. And I know it's not going to show up on stream, but it zooms in the screen to an insane amount, and it looks terrible because my computer slows down when I try doing that. But that's how I get pixel perfect measurements on these windows without too much effort on my part. Where I'm like trying to zoom in really close and move it, and my hand is too jittery. So there we go. I think that looks good. Let me check the top. Yeah. Pixel perfect. Very nice. There's the RTC symbol, by the way, because Sunset Striders died when I was trying to load this up. Okay. Now, let's get the real-time corruptor windows up. Starting off, I also need to open up the Windows Glitch Harvester, so that's another pre-offset, another window within the real-time corruptor. Ah, and there's all the windows there. Perfect. Let me get my video capture up top. There we go. And we'll get these all looking good. You can kind of see they're a little bit off, so I don't really like how those look. So we'll get those all fixed up. Something I think I'm going to cut down on is the stockpile manager. I don't know how I'm going to cut down on it. Maybe just make it smaller. I was thinking if I start from scratch, I won't have to worry about getting these windows perfect and being blinded by this light. So let's start off with the stockpile window. I don't like how that looks. Let's make it smaller. Doesn't really work because it's like an odd rectangle. So that kind of has to be of maximum size. Can't really mess with that too much. So let's leave that. The blast on the glitch harvester, we're gonna edit that, because that's a little bit too misshapen. Let me get my magnifier out again. There we go. Let's get that looking just right. Good. Something else I'm going to do is ungroup all these entries because they're going to keep trying to follow each other. So, ungroup. which I thought was an easy option. Oh, ungroup, got it. So now they don't move as one, it's not a giant entry. Stash history I don't like. Looks a little bit odd because of the gray on the edges. Let's knock down the stash history so it doesn't even say stash history anymore. I don't think we necessarily need that. We can include the clear history button because sometimes it's useful to see me hitting that button. It doesn't need to be as big. It can be kind of a small window for the most part. Okay, we'll mess with the others there. I think it will be kind of intuitive that it's a stash history as entries get flowed into there. They're just numbers, and you can just see me clicking on them, so they're not too important. Okay. Now all the actual parameter windows aren't popping up, so I gotta manually capture all those. From the real-time corruptor. So now we need param from RTC. There we are. And engine from RTC. There we go. Stash is good to go. Oh, unless I click on it, then it forgets what it's associated with. There we go. That's not stash. That's memory. We got messed up there. It should be stash, yeah. Well, let me go get the stash window, which is... where's that now? Up top. Oh, this is the wrong window. Oh no, it was perfect before too. Shoot. It's from the glitch harvester. That's what I messed up on. Glitch harvester. Oh, the annoying thing about OBS is as soon as you maximize it, it forgets all the windows that were active a second ago. Glitch harvester right there. Okay, now I gotta recapture that window. Make it nice and pretty. Let's change music. Let's do... I kinda want to do more Fear Dark, but that's just me. How about... let's do some Jet Set Radio. Original soundtrack. Yeah. Because... I think it might get VOD muted if I do that, because there's a couple copyrighted songs in there, but this section isn't that important to copy. Oh god, and I had it midway through. Alright, from the beginning. Love it, Lord. Oh, it's gonna have... there's lyrics, though. Shoot. How about... the good, like, tone-out soundtrack? I always do Starbound. I'm just gonna do Stardew. It's just easy. I don't have to worry about it. There we go. So, I should talk about my streams in general and what I've been doing. So I haven't streamed very often, and most of my streams lately have just been Oblivion. Now I have a reason for that, and it's been schoolwork, because schoolwork has been extremely difficult for me. It's not been impossible, and I've been doing okay for the most part. I haven't been failing any classes or anything like that. Actually, I think I'm doing quite well, but it is consuming all the time I have. I think I want to cut off the scroll bar as well. Let's create a couple entries here. In order to do that, I need to create a save state, target a save state, load a save state, blast it. It's gonna flash a couple times, I apologize. I just want to fill up the stash history completely. Okay. So now we have a scroll bar. Do we want that scroll bar? I don't think so. Let's just do it like this. Yeah. And the numbers are never actually going to get all the way to the end. So the numbers are just for reference, really. And then on top of that, do we even want the clear history button? I mean... nah, I don't think we do. Let's just forget that. And then it kind of looks bad though, because it looks like we're clipping off the last entry, which we don't intend to do. That? I don't necessarily like that. But we can only scroll down. Let's do it like that. That's not so bad. When you minimize it, it looks so bad when it's that tiny though. You can't even see it. Especially if I have like low video encoding that day. Like I'm only limited to 480. Well, I think it's always gonna be the highest you can go to. It just might not go lower. But like this at 480, don't even know what that looks like anymore. So I'll stick with something like that. I am running out of space, I don't like that, but we'll see what we got once we capture everything. Okay, there's the one I'm moving around is the engine selection. Do we need to know the engine? I feel like we do. What I don't think we need to really know is the minimum value, so we can make this really tiny. We also don't need to see that really, the drop-down menus, because that's not important. Okay. This one doesn't look good when you stretch it up because how small it is already, so we should be wary of that. Let me get my magnifier in and try to get that last send window up a tiny bit. Does that look pixel perfect? No, it's a tiny bit off. 1 pixel. There we go. Let's get that in the corner, like that. Perfect. Except for the bottom, which is... Which one's blending over? I think it's this window. The blast send window. Yes! Look at that! That looks fantastic. Okay, let's get the Nightmare Engine window in there. Needs to be slightly clipped to the left. And then... there's a little bit of white on the bottom of this one. Great! Okay, I like that. Now it's still bleeding from the left though. So... I don't want to lose any of the text. Well, now it's gonna fight me with its size. Good. Does that look good in the end? I think it does. Yeah, it looks alright. We may need to move those windows around based on position, but I think that looks good. Yeah. I don't know if we want to play with like visually appealing entries or anything like that. The parameter window now, the top right window. That needs to be slightly adjusted. Oh, we stretched that one. I used to be stretching these all the time, just for no apparent reason, making them look terrible in my opinion. Because I would mess up their aspect ratio. Now I don't do that so much, so that's a good thing at least. Now I'll just cut them and make sure they kind of fit alright. Nope. Move that window around. There we go. I wish I could move the windows together as one and then make them meet, you know? I can't do that, unfortunately. I think this is spring music. I love Stardew. I haven't played enough of it, though. And I have this complaint with, I guess, a lot of Harvest Moon games, is I get to a certain point with them, I found most, if not all, the secrets in them, and I just don't want to play them anymore. Which is too bad. I mean, it's one of my favorite series, the older Harvest Moons, and Stardew included in that because it's a homage. And I wish I could play it more, but I don't have the desire to do so. I think one of the worst things I did in that game was it's a spoiling, it's been out for a while. There's a secret area that you can enter. There's a couple secret areas in that game, actually. And I think I ruined most, if not all of them, for myself, by looking up where they are. Because at the time I was curious and I didn't think ahead, and I didn't think that would ruin it for me. But it absolutely did. Can't ruin the secrets, you gotta find them on your own. It would make it more magical, and I think I was disappointed I didn't find them on my own. And I've been trying my best to know, or to learn from that, but I still have my foul-ups. That in games I need to find that experience myself. Okay, we're good? We're good. Alright. I don't like how the parameter window kind of bleeds into the stash history up the top right. I think it's okay. Ooh, autofocus. But we have the new window to stick in here, so I'll worry about that later. Now our new window is, of course, as we already mentioned, the Windows volume limiter, which is a very pretty window in my opinion, and I don't know how much of it I'm actually going to capture. I think only a very small portion of it, but let's get a good new capture on that. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and group all of our corruption windows together thus far. Corruption windows. Okay. Oh, why do they extend? It's saying it's slightly extending off. Yeah, anyway. It's nice when they're a continuous block like this, because then I can just move them all around as one. I can't make multiple groups though, so if I wanted to group, like say, the Stockpile Manager and the Blast Send windows, I can't mix those together and then combine them with another group. It's only one overall group and that's it. Which is too bad, because I like grouping a bunch of stuff in mini groups and working with big objects and smaller objects. Makes it easier for me. Can't decide on the good lighting. This burns my eyes, and I usually try to avoid corruption streams because of that. It hurts my eyes, but it looks weird with having I have like a little shade that goes over it. I don't think my camera adjusts properly. Anywho, so this new window, let's call it volume limiter. I guess it's a good name for it. It's called Windows Volume Limiter. There you go. Let's get a good look at this program. This is the new one, and I think we can. I don't know who developed it specifically. I think Neri made the Windows Glitch Harvester by himself? That can't be right. I think it was also part of Ezekior, the other developer for the real-time corruption software and the owner of Red Scientist Media. So I don't actually know who developed this, but let's take a look at it. So I'm going to choose a process, which another window pops up, which I'm not going to show because it shows all my processes that are running. But I'm going to select Chrome because that's what I'm using for the music right now. And you'll see a very slow read-in of the music, which is kind of calming, so, you know, it looks nice. This actually kind of reminds me of an old real-time corruption window that used to show up. It doesn't show up anymore. It used to be in a very old version of the real-time corruptor. It was a timeline, where if in a game I'm flowing along the timeline, going from left to right, if I choose to rewind time, it's like a timeline where it will pop into another existence and will continue running along that timeline, saying that this top timeline stopped and this new one is beginning, and then they run, you know, parallel to each other. But I like that a lot. It's not being used anymore. I don't think they found it very useful, which I can agree with that. It just looked kind of pretty. And I like the idea of having stats running. And if we do get a really loud bit of audio, I don't know if I can up this volume to make it super loud. Let's see if that shows up. It does! So if I made this much louder, which I'm going to bring it down, you can see that on the spikes on the graph. That's cool. We're going to see that exact same thing if we get very screechy audio, which we're going to use for Game Boy Advance games. I just realized that, because Game Boy Advance games have terrible audio. They sound so awful. And this, I guess the difference between this and just using a stream equalizer, so I use an equalizer on my desktop audio to keep it all about one sound length, so it doesn't blast your ears out, this is for me. This is so I don't blast my ears out. I can listen to the audio without damaging my good ear. So anyway, I forgot to show an example of what this actually did, so I'll wait for the next song. I'm drinking some pink lemonade. Oh, that does not show up as pink at all. Wow, my camera settings are off. How about we take a sec to fix our camera settings too? I'm gonna try to equalize it with this pink, because this is like a bright neon pink, and on the camera it looks very dull and like gray. So this is the auto white balance that it says it has, where it really should be more, well, kind of like this to be honest, but that isn't really what I look like. This is like too bright. It's like a nice that. That's not bad. Kinda looks too dull though. And there's the auto white balance. We're just gonna bring it a little bit up from the auto white balance. Oh, I forgot ice cubes, it's warm. Alright. That's good enough. I'm gonna close down the camera. I guess I'm happy with that. It's a little bit more realistic. Close down the camera. Oh, that's great. Look at that pose it froze me in. Let me just go and disable that and re-enable it. What a great pose. There we go. Don't close your camera settings, otherwise we'll freeze the camera on OBS. So we're gonna play with this for a sec. So, I don't actually know a lot of how it works. I know an idea of where, say if we want to bring the monitoring value down. Let's make this louder. Okay, so now it's super loud. We want this to be lower. So you see where the white area is on here? The white area is actually being reduced slightly, so it isn't actually going above that. The volume isn't peaking, it's just right to the volume where we like it. And I actually am curious, I'm going to mute myself. For the most part, I think it sounds alright. It's actually probably a little too quiet for the stream, and if we bring it up, it actually comes up on the stream as well. So that's cool. I don't know what our ideal value is going to be, because I don't know what this looks like. We're going to go like, what's the default? I'm pulling this up. We'll probably go with the default, to be honest. We might lower it a tad. That's the default. So it's like, if this was out of amount of volume out of 130%, so 30, 20, 10, 100%, 90, 80. It's around 80%, which is actually what I usually would do for the stream anyway. And I don't think I need to reduce the stream audio at all, because this is only if it gets above that threshold it will bring it down. So I think we're good. I'll listen to my VODs, I'll make some test streams and make sure it sounds okay for the most part, but I think we're good. And now actually capturing this window. Let's pull up our audio for Chrome once again. What we're actually going to capture here. Oh, I can show my mouse. Do my other windows have the mouse? I don't think they do. I don't think I want to show any of this stuff. It's not really necessary. This stuff, however, that's the juicy stuff you want to capture. So let's just do that. I mean, make it a nice monitor of audio. Which really, in our streams, audio is very important because we blast our ears out so frequently, especially with games like GBA games. We gotta be cautious of it. So that's kind of what I want. We might reduce the top a tad, so maybe bring it down to where we're trying to limit it. Maybe not exactly to where we're trying to limit it because we do want to see that threshold. So we could do something like this. Now that window is not going to fit anywhere. So how do we get this to look nice? I'd like it going across the top, so maybe not this gigantic, because that just looks ungodly. We could make it maybe a little bit bigger so we don't reduce it, but then we can knock down the size. So ideally we can stick it in one of these corners. This is about max height. I'm having trouble deciding. Oh shoot, maybe we do just want this. I mean, can we reduce the other windows so much that this looks alright without reducing the quality in those other windows? I don't think we can. Plus I also forgot myself. I'm probably just gonna stick my window like here, within the stockpile, because we usually don't utilize that too much. Then we can also do, we can reduce the stockpile itself, the stockpile manager, because we have a little bit too much information there that we don't need to capture. So let's bring down, I guess, all the naming, and also the bottom, because none of that's really all that relevant. We just need the gray area. It's all that's important to us, really. Stockpile window. Why is this the way that it is. Off to the right side, it looks like it's... What? It's doing something weird. The capture of it is. I don't know why it is. Big Blue for it! Thank you for the host! Are my alerts getting off? What is with my alerts? I swear to God. I can't stand that. Wasabi had the same issue. There's something wrong with slobs. I think we gotta update our widgets. But thank you so much for the host. How's it going, Baby Blue Ford? Hope you're doing well. We're just messing around with our windows at the moment. I'm trying to get everything to look nice because we haven't updated them in quite some time. Okay, my alerts are working now. I would like to. Do I have alerts? I don't have alerts, that's why. I don't have alerts on this window. But I don't think they were picking up anyway. But let me copy that over. Copy as a reference. Should we do a reference? Yeah, no. No, I can't decide. Okay, here's my window. Paste as a duplicate. No, those are all our corruption windows. No! Delete. Remove. Oh, look at our windows! No! All of our work! Not too well, just trying to relax, and Aunts and the family died last night. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Shoot, well I hope the relaxation will come. I'm sorry to hear that, jeez. Family-related matters are always the worst, you know? Yeah. If were you on the Minecraft server? As I say, that's definitely a relaxing task. I know you were on earlier. Yeah, hopefully you're doing alright. Let me try to get my alert window working. I don't know what's wrong with this anymore. I don't think real-time corruptor's capturing anymore. I'll probably fall asleep to the stream. Why? I'm glad that can be something to fall asleep to. I don't think I have the most calming voice, but maybe the Stardew Valley will bring you there. Minecraft was chill. It's good to hear. I'm glad you're getting on the server a lot too. It's good to see you around. It's good to keep the server populated, and I know you're creating some awesome stuff, so it's good to have you around. What windows am I missing? I have the stockpile, I have the stash, I'm missing the corruption windows. That's why I gotta go up. I got some diamonds and made my very first enchants on the server. I haven't even done enchantments. Like, I am so old school into vanilla, I don't even know what enchantments really do. I've heard of like Silk Touch and Mending, I know what those do. But a lot of them, no clue at all. But that's cool, so you got Silk Touch, Efficiency, which I imagine helps you break stuff faster. Unbreaking, does that just increase the durability? I imagine it would. But very nice, that's awesome. Especially now you have like a good pick, a reliable one that you can just, use for everything. You don't have to worry about keep on making diamond picks here and there. That's what I did back in the day. When a diamond pick just broke, go make another one. Don't worry about the anvil. Silk Touch is rare. Is that... I think that's where you get more of the item out when you break it, correct? Or is it that you get the exact item back? I forget what that is. I'm bad with enchantments. I know someone on the server had lost their like Silk Touch 3 diamond pickaxe and they were asking for it back. I'm like, got wipes though, I can't help you. If I can get a mending book, I'll apply it to the pick through anvil, which would be like unbreakable at that point. It really has the unbreakable, plus it'll last you forever. As long as you don't die with it, you are golden. Silk Touch drops the exact block you're mining. Oh, really? Okay. So that's super cool. So you can get like a whole fucking thing of like, you can get so much of that. That's awesome. Given like just regular stone blocks, then you can get the ores for like diamonds and redstones and stuff like that. Mending repairs through experience. Oh, so you have to pick up the experience Sir Parrot. Gotcha. Because I know people use that for their AFK fishing farms, which I'm kind of about. I don't really like fishing farms, so that's just me. But I know getting experience is important for that because then you can get your items back, or your what do you call it? Fish pole won't break. Okay, there is. What windows are we missing? The memory domains. That's one we're missing. Go to RTC. Oh, everything's so messed up. What's going on? Why are these so like this? Now I gotta move them all back. Instead of using levels, which can become too costly to where you can't repair it. Oh, is that what you have to do for the anvil? You have to use levels? I thought you always could just, like, put in whatever, like, say it's a diamond, you put in diamonds and you repair it. Although I have no clue. I don't think I've even used an anvil. That's interesting nonetheless. Stockpile window. I don't like what OBS is doing to me. I'm switching windows. This is like... What? Now I'm so confused. This is exactly what we want. Can I just take this? What happened to our other window? No, it's even more messed up! What? Okay. We spent so long getting these rights. Remove. I hate doing that. Hate doing it. Because they're right here. These are the windows. This is the corruption window 2. I'm going to copy it and paste the reference over here. This is the one we want. Paste reference. And put myself up at the top. Video capture. Yeah. I mean, we're missing some windows and we don't have everything that we want, but it's better than we had. You can use diamonds as well, but it also uses experience levels. Gotcha. And it's also, I heard, very costly to do it that way, so it's usually not worth it unless it's like a good upgrade, I heard. Okay, this is corruption window 2. Stockpile window. Knock it down. Okay, first we're ungrouping all of these. It's a good idea, right? No, we're not going to ungroup it because I think that's where we ran into the problem before. So I'll make these smaller. There we go. That is my little spot. My little hangout, if you will. Parameters. Gonna make that smaller. I'm gonna stick that somewhere else in a sec. Stash. Hide all of this. Only need the very tip of this window. Good. Okay. The blast window. I can never really get the blast window looking just right. I kind of play around with it a lot, but it's okay. Memory domains. We don't need the auto reference, and we also don't need the scroll bar. Okay. The engine. Don't need the border. Need a little bit of the border. This is the one we spent a lot of time on trying to get perfect. Don't need the bottom. Don't need the reference on the right. Tiny window. Okay, now we're almost back to where we were before. Almost. And now we also need to kind of get these windows to fit together, which they kind of don't, so. Stockpile window. Oh, great. Don't disappear. I see what's happening, so because they're grouped, can we not do that? Oh, okay, got it. Because they're grouped, they're all kind of fighting each other and it keeps clipping off the edge. That's not gonna make sense unless you see it, but that's alright. Maybe this might look bad, but what if we just stick the like parameter windows and stuff like that above the actual bar graph? Well, because then the interesting thing that happens when it peaks, we won't see that. So I don't think that's a very, very good idea. It's an idea, but it's not very good. Memory domains I want to knock down a tad. Make it a little bit smaller. And maybe shrink it down a tad? I don't want these too small where like only the music is the interesting window and everything else is dominating it. God, what is this song? It sounds so calming. 26 minutes. Do you provide? Yes, you do. This is fall. Wow, this is a fall song. It sounds so catchy for a fall song. It sounds like a festival music. I'm slouching. I'm gonna kill my back doing these streams. I gotta sit up straight. Into the light for a bit. I think it's time for magnifier, because I gotta get that memory window looking better. Oh, but the problem with this, so I gotta ungroup them, I really think I do. But we ran into the problem last time we ungrouped. Can't decide, can't decide. You know what we can do? This might be easier. Instead of zooming in crazy, we can just make this super big, adjust it, and then make it super small. Is that cheating? I feel like it's cheating. There we go. That looks great. Okay. Now, engine window. Gigantic. Let's get the edges looking right. We're gonna get rid of the white border. Well, the problem with getting rid of the white border, though, is you can tell that it's supposed to be there. So let's skip just a pixel of that. And maybe the top as well. Nightmare. Engine. Okay. Make that small. Good. Yeah. It looks a little weird having the 1 pixel wide sizes, but oh. Stash. Make that nice and huge. Get the bottom all sorted. Corners look okay, top looks okay, I think that's fine. That again doesn't need to be gigantic. The blast button, blast line glitch. This one I always try to get looking perfect. I don't know whether I should have the purple, I usually do. But let's try not having it for once. So it should look like that. Make it tiny. I don't think that necessarily looks bad. What's bothering me is this glitch, the stockpile window. I don't know why it's bothering me. It doesn't quite look right. Charlock! Facecam, you know it. Mostly because I'm setting up the corruption stream that I normally do and then it normally has a facecam on it. Otherwise I would just flick this off, but it's easy since it's already there. Trying to get all my windows set up just right. I feel like I could play with this forever, but at some point we'll settle on what we like. So this I can really resize to anything, so we just gotta get it in the perfect position first. And then the names will just match up as they do. Let me use my magnifier and make sure that's pixel perfect. I think it is. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Get the blast window looking nice somewhere. Doesn't need to be very big, but we could make it huge if we wanted to. There's nothing that we can really fit into the center of that, so... Oh, you know what we need to still bring up here, though, is the intensity window. Param is the name of that one. It's like playing Sudoku or Tetris or something with all these windows. They're never perfect. You can never get them to be perfect. Let's stick this up here. Stash can go like down here, because that's always going to be on screen, but we don't necessarily know if our memory domains are going to give that long of a list. It might be smaller, like it is currently. So I think that can be smaller, maybe to the system bus. Just stretch the elements and hope no one notices. That's actually what I had before, is I was looking at some of the windows I set up previously, and I'm like, wow, that looks a little funky. I don't know what I was thinking there. It was just because I was trying to get them stretched to look right. Messed up all their aspect ratios and all that. Yeah, that'll look right. And then blast send, we can't make it too big because then it looks uncomfortable to have the stretched up text. Oh, now our phone. Now our stash history doesn't fit right. That's one of the ones where I can use my magnifier for. Stash. It's the bottom of it. It keeps getting messed up. Oh no. Here's the problem with using them as a group, is as soon as you click off of it, you're kind of screwed and you have to zoom back out. Good? No, it's not good. Bollocks. Because you know what's wrong is we gotta cut it a bit. It has some gray beneath it. And can we lower it? Yeah, we can. Okay. Good? Good. And then our parameter window has some gray on the far right. Let's cut that back. And the top. Oh, those windows look so tiny. In fact, we can even probably overlap them a tad. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing either. Right? That doesn't look bad. You know what we can do instead is make the stash window a little bit larger. What's the blood and blue square? That's where we're gonna make our stockpile entries. So say, hello. And we just send these over. We don't need the names for them. That's where the entries go. And then if we pop up a note, that should be popping up as well. Test. Yeah. So that's like our stockpile window. I usually don't pay too much attention to that because I'm going to stick myself down here. And that probably doesn't need to be the size it is. I can probably knock it down a tiny bit. Yeah, we're going to knock it down. It will scroll downwards, so what we can do is we can cut from the bottom. Just a tad. And knock that down like that. That'll give us a little more room. Because I think the only trouble I'm having was with the intensity sliders. Where it's this window. Let's move everything down. So stockpile, stash. Knock that down. Followed by... Let's get the blast send window up here. Yeah, it's kind of falling into place. And then we need the parameter, the engine window. Put that down. These actually kind of overlap nicely too, because they're different colors, so you can't tell that they're not nicely overlapping actually. And my magnifier window is unhappy. Why is it unhappy? Is it because this window is slightly not cut? Ah, it is, okay. The game window was a little bit too uncut and it had a little bit of a black border. So it looks like everything was badly cut or misplaced. I would also like to do that, I think, to the stockpile window. Just 1 pixel, but it just looks a little odd, wonky, right around there. Okay, the memory domains now. We can make that kind of... Can we make that big? Nah. Let's minimize it a tiny bit. Drop it down. We still need room for the intensity sliders. A tiny bit. I think we can get that from making the stash history a tiny bit smaller. Like that. Make everything just a tiny bit bigger on the left side. This is where I wish they would include stuff where like mini grouping is possible. Where I can group all of these left elements together, because it makes sizing them up so much easier. Blast on send. Good. That window. Good. Yeah. Kind of. Memory domains. It can have some overlaps, that's okay. Good. And intensity slider. It looks so small though. God. It can have some overlap as well though, because stash history isn't too important. In fact, we can actually cut down from, well, that's the tricky thing is because, see, we clear out the stash history. Let's see what this looks like. Clear it out. Corrupt. We don't see the first corruption, we see the second one. That's all fine. Go all the way down, corrupted a bunch of times. Oh, I also don't like how the blast window looks. I'm gonna Which one is that? The parameter engine? Then this engine. I'll make that slightly higher. That's a perfect fit. There we go. I mean, you can kind of see it down there. It will naturally be cut off because we have to manually scroll. So that's not bad. Also, we see our cursor on all these windows, right? Yeah. Which we should be. I'm gonna magnify into here and make the intensity slider just a little bit smaller. I don't like that that has like rounded edges, and I can't seem to fix that. I don't know if it's something I can fix. Yeah, every time I try adjusting it doesn't quite look right. But I think that is everything. So volume limiter is the... It's been cut? When did I cut that? Oh, it's been cut at the bottom. That's normal. Cool. I don't particularly like the placement of everything, but I think it's the best we're gonna get. For example, I think I would like to move the stockpile up and everything else below that, but then it would also... I don't know where I would fit, because I'd have to be up there as well, and it'd be kind of odd placement. I like myself at the corner. Let's move the blast send window up higher. I think that should be like where your eye is being drawn to. That's too low. So, blast on glitch, we'll just stick that up at the top, and everything else can be bumped down. Do we want the engine or the memory domains higher? We want the engine, so... Engine is next, followed by memory domains. In fact, we can just reduce the size of the memory domains. It'll make things easier. Okay. This is still going to bother me, so let's move the stockpile window in by 1 pixel. Or 2 or whatever. There. Now it doesn't have that weird black border. It looks a little jam-packed, but I think I'm happy with it. I like that we have now the sound being monitored and we can control peaking. Let me just go through like how I would normally do a corruption. Oh, it's doing that thing. God, I have to close down the window. Hide the corruption windows. And open up the real-time corruptor. Now recapture windows. Good. So populate this. The names are going through fine. Like they might be a little bit small, but that's okay. We see hello up at the top. We can click on these. Soon enough, it looks like the name is being cut, or the game is being cut off, but it's all going to be the same game anyways, unless we're doing like a culmination stockpile list, and the system same. Notes, you can still see. The later notes we might not see as much. I can always adjust myself like this, or like fit myself into these 2 columns, which looks bad. I don't think everyone needs to see notes. Okay, let's simulate corrupting. The blast send button doesn't... Oh, I'm sorry, wrong window. This window. Shows my mouse. Stash history is updating properly. Now we want to change some memory domains. Let's corrupt all these. This window I think is a little too big. The memory domain one. The text looks a little stretched. So I think I would exchange that in favor of the stash history. Man, that's the words are throwing me off. But I'm not going to change it right now. So I think I'm happy where we have it. Yeah, I don't think I would have it any other way. So now, I think we're ready for some Sunset Riders corruptions. Let's go ahead and clear out our stockpile completely. Let's go ahead and auto-select our memory domains, as per usual. Clear out our stash history. I like how these windows get cleaned up. That looks kind of nice. I like that we dropped that down. Or no, we didn't affect that at all, actually. Yeah, those are all the same. But anyways, I like how these look. It's all one gray palette, and then once we add something to it, boom. even though it has one delay. Can we? We can't adjust that, sadly. We can stretch it, but I don't think we should. It's okay. And then this will populate once we have items. Cool. Alright. That was a little long, I apologize. Let's go ahead and stop the music. Or no, we'll keep the music while we're getting started. Let's do some Sunset Riders. Some SNES. Before I do that, however, we're going to hide our corruption windows. Because we're going to do... Oh, everything crashed. That was weird. I want to change my color palette. I didn't think everyone was going to crash like that. Open RTC. OBS detected. Settings and tools, color theme. I want to make everything orange. Because I like orange. Now, corruption windows. Everything's orange. GameCube orange, if you will. Pretty. Now we can select Sunset Riders within our BizHawk emulator, which isn't auto-selected as a file because my export from the SNES came in a .fig file. Don't know why. First time I've used the SNES ripper on my hardware ripper for that type of ROM. Okay, so here's the game. When I started off and I announced I was going live, I created a little bit of a corruption here with an auto-corrupt, I think an intensity slider. Like that. So there's an example of what that looks like. Now I gotta reboot the core though. It's been a while since I've done RTC corruptions. I should say that. It's been a long while. Something I know they have changed, I believe, is the error delay and intensity sliders. I think those are swaps from my memory. I'm going to create a save state here, just a manual save state that I can keep hopping to. We're going to try corrupting just a couple things here. I want to see what all this looks like. So, WRAM, nothing. Cart ROM, breaks it. Sometimes. VRAM, oh, cart ROM you shouldn't corrupt because that's a bad area to corrupt. VRAM, this is what it looked like when I was going live. Just a lot of clown vomit. OEM, which is object files, nothing stored there. CG RAM, the colors. Oh, that's a cool one too. I wish I would have announced with that. Actually, I can update mine. No, I can't update it, shoot. Sunset Riders. Oh yeah, and someone already had posted next to me. I don't think it will let me edit a photo. No. That's something I wish Discord would include. Let you swap photos out. Since there's no audio yet, let's keep going with the music. But anyways, that's a pretty corruption there. Got the purple Sunset Riders. Purple haze. That's weird. It just said I was going live, and that's the picture it used. It's probably because it's the first moment I pulled it up. I'm going to put this in corruptions for Oddbrew. And let's actually play it now. So back to our fresh save state. Unpause it. Good. Into the game. Or at least into the first animation. I want to corrupt a little bit there. Right there? Okay, cool. Right when the camera starts moving, maybe where we see the first guy. So there's heel coming in early, we're moving where that character is on the screen. Got a purple ground. Surprisingly, a lot of color corruptions here. Our intensity is a little too high, let's knock that down. And we can also actually, screw it, let's actually start capturing some of these corruptions. We need to make a save state within the glitch harvester. It's gonna be a little too late though, so I gotta restart. From the beginning of the core. Did I set up my controller? I don't know if I did actually. That's good. Great. There is where our save state is set. Now we're blasting it, and the items are going to start populating within the stash history. As long as we're doing it correctly, which it looks like we are, but it sure ain't acting like we are. We have better results with manual blasts. This one just looks a little too dim, and then everything on the screen is broken behind them in the haze. Oh, that's a pretty one. I can get behind that. The Corruption Warrior. I like that. Just the text flying on by. Steve. Steve, you mad lad. Oh my god, it's just... Billy. Let's sanitize this a bit. Oh my god, what is this? I'm gonna pause this real quick. We have a completely new stash history, or blast editor window. Do we have a blast editing window within our... We don't. Blast on glitch? No, we have to create a new blast editor window. Window capture, blast. We already have a blast editor. But oh my god, look at this! Because usually on the streams I'll show what my blast editor looks like. This is totally different! Make that a little bit smaller so you can actually see me. Oh my god. So... Open note editor? What is that? Sorry. The last time I saw this editor... Oh, I don't like that. It's never going to be the exact same size I need it. The last time I opened up this window, it was literally just this area. None of this existed, so... What is this, stuff that we can edit on the fly? Open note editor. Well, that's just notes in general. Gives us the size of the blast layer, 1708s. Mouse is showing up, sorry. Just looking around to see what all this stuff is. It's kind of like they included the generator right within the editor itself, which I don't think is right, but here. Add new row. Setting it at the bottom. Well, I want to try to save this corruption, so let's save this one first, but then I want to figure out how this one works. We can search from this window by source, domain, address, a bunch of other stuff. Settings locked, enabled, big endian. I think this is all for just adding rows, because we used to have a thing called, and we don't have, no we do, Open Blast Generator, and that's what I would use occasionally for my corruptions if I just need one entry, and I knew exactly what I wanted from that. But now it's just, I can do it right there, that's awesome. Sorry to get so excited. Let me get this window looking right. So, we don't necessarily want it to completely cover our main window, but we also do want to get a pretty good look at what we're doing. So maybe we'll do something like this. We can cover the main windows, because those don't necessarily need to be seen. I don't want to cover the game so much, though. Just stretch it, man. Just stretch it like that. No. And I also don't want to spend a whole lot of time, like, narrowing these windows down and seeing what we need and what we don't. I'm in huge favor of what the Windows Glitch Harvester Blast Editor looks like, because that is not landscape like that, it's portrait, so it's like this. It looks awesome, where it's... This doesn't look right. Like that. So maybe... I'll stick it below me. Put my video up higher. No, I don't like that though. How about... I don't think it's gonna be an easy decision no matter what. We'll do something like that. And now let me just explain what the blast editor is in case anyone doesn't know. I'm gonna let the ROM run in the background after I explain a little bit. So, the main window, this bit here that I'm used to, all of what that does is it describes all the corruption that exists. And this one is much nicer than the version on the Windows glitch harvester because it gives you much more descriptive information about each corruption. You can add a note to the individual addresses, which is super neat. Precision? What is even precision? I didn't even know there was a precision. Like a floating point precision? I mean, shoot. But we can enable corruption on the far left. It's a specific memory writes in this manner. We can lock it in case we don't want that to be deselected. We can choose source, value, or store. Store. Is that like a free store, like a heap allocation? Or is that like a storing with a value within memory? Are any of these stores, or is it just all values? Okay, it's all values. Can we create corruptions with stores by default? I don't think that's a new engine parameter, is it? Random tilts, custom engine, blast generator, no, not really. Blast radius, no. We do not have a store. I don't know what store does, to be honest. And I don't think I will be able to corrupt it enough to figure out what it does specifically, because I'm not random enough to generate that. So we're gonna leave that alone. But the important stuff is we can enable, we can lock, we can set an address. So WRAM, for example, is where we're corrupting, or we could do CartRAM, VRAM, object files, APRAM, system bus, all that stuff. Gives us a specific address, which we can edit, hexadecimal, precision, which I imagine is just the precision of the integer or floating point or anything like that, and a specific value that we're sending to that memory address. If we want to save the specific corruption we're looking at, so say we want to save this effect where it all looks like vomit land, then we need to go through here and disable some of the corruptions that we don't need. For example, this first one, the one at 18.5AE, or 185AE, because it's text, is not enabled. And because it's not enabled, and yet we still see the corruption that we want on screen, that tells us, okay, that memory address did nothing for what we wanted to do. We wanted to keep this clown vomit effect, and that did not have anything to do with it. Might have done something else, we don't know what it did, but it didn't do this. So now what we can do is we can remove the ones we disabled. Our blast layer size went down from about 1800 to 800, or cut in half from whatever it was before. Oh, that's cool, look at that! The corrupted Sunset Riders. Beautiful. We can continue along in that manner. And every time we see something that we like, how it should look, we're going to disable the other half. We're going to disable the ones we don't need. And I'm hoping this is almost just a single memory address. It may be multiple. But hopefully it's just one memory write that's causing this. You'll see in this case, the corruption isn't how we want it to look. It's the old way it used to look like. So in this case, we can invert the ones we disabled, look at the other half of that stockpile, there's the effect we like, remove them, and now we're down to about 100 memory writes. So we'll continue along in that fashion. Down to 27. And 13, and it goes on. This is my very old method. Well, it's not my old method. This is my old corruption streams. I used to do this all the time. I don't do it with SNES or NES or anything like that very often anymore, which I should be. I should be doing it a lot more often. I've got very used to using Dolphin and the Windows Glitch Harvester for GameCube, because I like GameCube corruptions a lot. Who doesn't? It's a 3D world. But sometimes you gotta bring it back to old school. Gotta go back to retro, which is exactly where we're streaming. So there we go. A single memory write has created this effect as we expected. It's a value write, so a single value into memory. Oh, something that we're missing now is blast type. We can't use cheat types anymore, so we can't use oh god, how do I even describe what that used to be? We can't use cheat engine in order to force our values to stay. I'm sure we can, we just have to do it another way. Store type, once or continuous, is what we're looking for. So what if we want to make this permanent? So it's a value store within WRAM. WRAM matches. Can we just copy all this information down? Right-click, reroll selected rows. What? Okay, duplicate selected. I want another one so I don't ruin it. What's going on, Z? Reroll. You can reroll it right within here? What? Oh, that's so neat. I love it. I don't think that will actually change anything. Oh no, it does look like it's changing stuff. Okay. And the below stats in there are automatically adjusted as you click on them. Okay. So what if I want to change this to cart realm? Load. That doesn't work. Add new row? No, row is blank, so I can't add a new row. That doesn't affect the stuff down here. I want to put this up top. That makes sense. Remove disabled. Disable, remove that one. Okay, why don't you delete this and send this to our stash? Oh, that's new. When I send a stash, it pops up the window. Very nice. Remove disabled, send a stash. The Corruption Warrior. Delete the old entry, because we don't need it anymore. Here's the new one. And now let's go back to the entry here. I can't seem to, like, shouldn't you be in bed, young man? I should be. You know what I should be doing? Is I was supposed to be working on a project for C++, but my professor was late to release it, and he's been 2 days late. And I was like, he's not gonna release it today. Went out, bought some stuff, came back, and I was about to go to sleep. I was actually about to stream. And he released it, so now I'm technically behind. I should be working on that, but I haven't been. How's it going, Spagoolers? Hope you're doing well, everyone. Spagoolers is another amazing streamer who does some very... Can I call them hilarious? I'm gonna call them hilarious. He does some hilarious streams, even though there are somewhat modern games, like Dark Souls and Sekiro. Well, he didn't get the chance to stream Sekiro, died twice. I wish he would have. But Magic the Gathering, we'll call that modern. Kind of. He plays some awesome games. Go check him out. I don't have my shout-out bots up. Do I? Shout-out Spagoodlers. Does it work? It does work! How about that? Go check out Spagoodlers. Also, what we need is alerts. We need alert systems. I forgot about that. Professors are the worst. Professors are the worst. They're so bad. So, the real-time corruption software got an update. Oh, I also forgot to update the music. So my main software, oh my god, got an update, so everything looks new, kind of, not really. Some stuff looks new though, which is very exciting for me. I'm gonna choose a process, which is gonna be BizHawk, which is called EmuHawk. Select process. You work? No, you do not work. Well, you work now. I don't like that. It's when I minimize the program, it stops capturing it. That is some bad stuff. I don't like that at all. That feeling Sparky plugs you, get ready to get plugged regularly. So, I should explain what this window is for anyone that doesn't know. I want to type in some chicken tenders though. Up top we have a new sound monitor, which is super nice. In case the audio all of a sudden starts to scream at me. Previously, I just had the stream audio that was going to people being equalized, so it doesn't sound very loud. Now it would also equalize it for me. Now it doesn't blast my ears out, and I actually don't have to wear the headphone on one ear anymore. My good ear is safe, but I do it because I'm just used to it at this point. And you can see the audio dropping off. I like how it looks, for the most part. So cool. Something that also is new that I was investigating when you popped in, Mr. Spagoods, is our new Blast Editor window. Which previously, when I looked at this window, we had like just this area, just this box. But there's all this special stuff that's down below here now, and they changed a lot of stuff that I don't like that much. Be right back. No worries. Do not need to, you can excuse yourself at any point. How do I... do this, though. I don't know how to bring that information into the entry above. Adding a row doesn't appear to help. Duplicate, remove, shift, question mark. Oh, there's a tutorial. I think I helped with the... Ah, that's awesome! Wait a minute. Oh, I dropped my controller. I just realized the guide that I helped write. Oh, that's awesome. Right up by TechSupportSparky. That's this guy. When you click the question mark at the top right corner of that window, it brings you to the Blast Editor guide for the Real-Time Corruption wiki, which, by the way, the wiki had a massive update. When did this happen? They switched over their, like... it looks great now. What in the world happened to the Real-Time Corruption wiki? I don't know. Can I share my browser? I think I can. I'll do that in a sec. Okay. Well, anyway, go check that out. Corruption wiki. Go read up the Real-Time Corruptor Blast Editor guide. It's not updated anymore. It doesn't work anymore. I gotta update that. Shoot. Now I kind of feel bad. I was on the dev version, so I was kind of paying attention. This guide is somewhat out of date, written for the 3.2x branch. Some topics still apply. Got it. I will update that as soon as possible. How do I update it? I gotta write this down. I'm so excited to do that, though. Updates. Blast Editor guide for real-time... Oh, not real-time corruption. For corrupt.wiki. And in fact, I can actually... Can I just capture my browser? I should just do that. Window capture... Chrome. That works. Don't care about the tabs. Useful websites, YAR folder, Squirt, and CW Seed, and Android stuff. Don't need to see that. So, Blast Editor Guide. Let's look at this. Written by TechSupportSparky. This guy. Not to plug myself or anything. But this is what the old corruption window used to look like way back when. And this is kind of how it looks now, so you can see the difference between the two. Before, the blast unit type is what I'm hoping to adjust, where we could just switch from a blast byte to a blast cheats, and that would enable a cheat engine, essentially. Like, you could use permanent contiguous values that would update all the time, which I imagine is the store type, I'd hope. Outside of that, yeah, it says it's an outdated guide. I put a video here. This is my video? This is my video. My name is... So I gotta re-update that video. But it got a lot of views at the time. Kind of. Okay, I have no more plug for myself. Stardew Valley. Out of here. All gone. Chrome, remove, bye. I'm not even corrupting the game anymore. What I gotta figure out is Blast Editor window. So... What if we do a store? Can we edit it then? No. Beginning, execute frame, lifetime, that's all very cool options that we can now adjust. I imagine loop also might be something we're looking for. I don't know if it's the store type or if it's the loop type. I don't remember. I don't know. But I don't see a way to just like inject the current settings into the code. Like, what if I want to change the address? It's not live updating the address up top. Is it? No. Add new row. Oh, that updated though. So, oh, that's not right. That's not how it's supposed to work. But it sure looks like it's going to have to work like that. So, open editor, Blast Editor. Current entry is at 1F8C. I want to update that address by incrementing it by 1. Open notes and that applies it. Or just clicking on another window applies it. Yeah, okay. So, cool. That's actually exactly what we want. It's very, very finicky in my opinion. I don't like that a lot, and it doesn't look very definite. But if the information's there and when you click on it, it live updates, so I guess that's what they're looking for. Let's load the corruption again. This should be the bad one. Now this is set on loop, so maybe this will be like the permanent cheat engine type. I hope. I guess I gotta be a master on this in order to properly write about it. Consider that. I'm gonna skip all past this. It was like the intro screen where it started looking okay again. Vindicated even. Absolutely. Spoilers! I helped write a guide for this engine, this cheat engine way up top, and that guide is visible if you click on the question mark up at the top right, which is neat. I like that. Window capture, Chrome. Chrome window. Minimize that. That's my guide, and I like that a lot, that it still shows up. But it's outdated! It's not the new one anymore, because you can see the window looks different than what it used to. But, written up by TechSupportSparky. I'm too excited about that. Sparky uses hacks! No, I don't use hacks. No, I helped write it. It's an open source, wiki. It's an open source wiki, so I helped write it because I use this window. I used to love the old window to death, but it doesn't look the same anymore. I don't like the new window anymore. I wish I could. I might just use the older version, but there's problems with using the older one, sadly. But anyways, this worked properly, so it was either loop or the continuous store over time that worked, which I guess kind of is like Blast Cheat, how it used to work. One day you'll be a legend in the corruption community. I would hope so. I mean, there's some very cool people in the corruption community. I don't think I'm even close to those people. That day is today? No, it's not even close. Don't say that. No, they don't know about me. I'm on the down low. Understandably too, because they create some awesome stuff and they know a lot more about what they're doing than I do. I only know how to use the tools. The Corruption Warrior is what I'm calling this corruption. If I study memory a little bit more, I might be able to have a better say in what I do. So today I accidentally bought like $130 worth of takeout? How do we even do that? Was it that you just bought too much food and you're like, well, this would probably be like 20 bucks or 40 bucks and it was 130? Or did you just buy like 50 croissants instead of 5 and you're like, it's 50, I guess I'll take it. Also, let's create a new corruption now that we have this one all stored away. We can also reroll this. Or can we? Ah, the reroll button's broken, Mr. Nary. We're gonna write that down too. Reroll button broken in Glitch Harvester. For version 351. So that doesn't work, sadly. But what does work, if we open this in the Blast Editor and reroll it here, we can send that to the stash, or we can manually reroll it. I don't like that, that's gonna be a long process. I bought all my employees pizza for lunch, that's very nice of you. And then I had dates in order to take out from a nice restaurant. See, here's the problem. You need to mix those two together. You buy pizza for the office, and whatever the leftovers are, you package that up nicely and you bring it to the date. I'm kidding, that's terrible. That was nice you brought takeout from a nice restaurant, though. However, can you tell the difference between nice restaurant takeout and bad restaurant takeout? That is the question. It's usually in the packaging. Buy yourself some expensive packaging, switch the food over, fancy. Very classy, exactly. I don't like that this is the only way I can reroll. So I have to actually right-click the entry here. Reroll selected. Load the corruption. And see if I like the new one. I can't even see the screen all the way. Sparky, you're a madman? I'm a frugal man. I like saving money. Because I am a poor lad. Oh, this is gonna take so long. It's so easy just to hit that button over and over again because it automatically re-rolls it. This is frustrating to do. So we're not gonna do it like that. We're just gonna rely on randomness for the time being until that actually gets fixed. Finds takeout boxes in the closet. as I stare at like my box of 50 takeout boxes. No, I'm kidding. They're super fancy now. You gotta get that good quality, it's not styrofoam anymore. I guess it's like good quality like cardboard. The one with like, it doesn't soak in the grease. You could just like wash it. Wash your cardboard boxes for the next date. Find takeout boxes in closet. You wait, here BB, the food is at the door. You wait right there. Put a rose in her mouth. Oh, there's a nice one. That looked pretty. Wait, this one. Yeah, like half a second, like a broken guitar string. It isn't even consistent. This one, he's like stuck on the edge of the screen. I think WRAM is where we're gonna keep corrupting. Oh my god, what is that? Object off to the side. And they don't stop rolling, they just keep going. There should be like a boot and someone's like name showing up by about now. I want my grease back. Yeah, if you take out a date and she has like takeout or whatever, and she doesn't save her grease, that's not even worth like a ring. Like, don't even think about it. You gotta put that grease in a jar. They're still going. I don't know, if I save this one, should I keep that weird red like object? I don't know. I don't think so. So, I have a slight plan. There's, if anyone's familiar with Popo and Duck, Popo was considering if I wanted to send him some corrupted ROMs. Of course, the corrupted instructions, so not the ROMs themselves, but the instructions for him. He was considering flashing them to an actual ROM and playing them on actual hardware, if I was interested, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm interested, because I would love to see someone actually play some corruptions. So I might be making some corruptions with that mindset in mind. So stuff like this might not be quality enough to actually go onto a ROM and then play, you know? So let's get some quality ones. Let's get some good sauce. I don't know what that was. Ginny. Man, it seems so long ago that I created that emote. Did bully again. I was thinking about doing Luigi's Mansion tonight, but I'm like, I gotta do some SNES, I gotta do some old school corruptions, you know? I'm trying to imagine taking my dates, takeout container, and pouring all the grease into an old jar. Well, that's the thing. That's the great thing about takeout containers is they usually they have the little spout, so you can just pour it right in. Don't worry about it. I mean, in fact, if you go to a restaurant, just take a mason jar with you. Just take a good old mason jar, put a cap on it. When you're finished eating, just pour it straight in. You can do it discreetly, like put it on your lap or something and pretend to accidentally spill your plate on yourself, but really you're just saving that precious, expensive grease. And, you know, be frugal. I used this to live up my tractor. Lube up my tractor. I was like, live, lube. I use this to lube up my tractor. Guns and girlies. And you don't look much like a tractor without a gun. That's terrible, oh my god. Oh, like grease, like bacon grease or whatever. Not ideal. But hey, I'm not knocking you for trying. I ain't judging you. There ain't no judgment in the corruption zone. I only come here to upset you. I mean, it's funny too, because what part are you upsetting? Like, sometimes it's like the food, like my stomach is upset from something that has just been god-awful. Maybe it's the corruption, maybe it's something that was said about the corruption. Sometimes it's the mind, sometimes I'm upset in just the head. Like, something has just disturbed me and I don't think I can recover, but I'm gonna keep streaming anyway. At this point, you should probably be judging me. I mean, if by now I haven't done so, I mean, I don't think it's a good time to start. I mean, I've already gone down the road. We've already started. Real quick, let me see if I can corrupt anything else in terms of these memory domains. So this is OAM. I'm gonna do a huge, gigantic intensity. Nope. What? Music? No, it's okay. CG RAM. Oh, this is music. CG RAM. I thought. Oh, I didn't select it. CG RAM. No, that sounds fine. No, CG RAM is colors. APU RAM. Sound? There it is. That's what I wanted. The broken audio. Keep breaking it. Keep going. Yes. Let's knock back that intensity. Way down. Let's see if we can get some reasonably corrupted audio. A little bit higher. A little bit more breaky. Ah, it's a tone higher. Or no sound at all. One for my many sins. Oh, I said one because it was one cheer bit. For my many sins. That is 5 sin bits. I will deduct that from your debts. Let me just go ahead and do that. Do I have my pen with me? I don't. Here. Spagulars minus 5. Okay. Got it. Your sins have been repaid. I would love to have like a little book to keep track of that, but I feel like that'd be weird, right? That'd be weird. I'm up to 6 bits, 6 sin bits on your stream. I'm wondering when the allocation to nuggies goes. I think at some point it should be transferring over, but I don't know when that is. I don't know the conversion rates. You should be running a total on your wall. I should just be writing that on pencil. Right there. This isn't my wall. I don't care about that wall. Write pencil all over it. And then, like on my last day of school, I'm like desperately scrubbing it so I don't get charged 20 bucks or whatever to repaint the wall. Well, 40 bucks to repaint the wall. Okay, none of these sound good. Well, they all sound good. None of them sound horrible, which is what we're aiming for. 100 sin bits for 1 nuggie? What? 100 sin bits? No. It's like 1 sin bit for 1 nuggie, so if I accrue 40, well, I'm only at 6. I feel like this is gonna take so long to get 600. Well, what's your pack? It's 40. So I would need... I can't do math. 40,000? I would need 40,000 sins? What is that sinful? What would bring me to that limit? Do I dare even ask? Ah, there's like a deeper tone. I don't really like any of these though. Maybe we should just jump into the game to see how those sound. This is the system bus. Oh, we now have a new parameter. Can we see that on the stream? We can't. So, below the corruption engine, there is a minimum value, a maximum value, and a max infinity units. What is that? Man, it's been so long. You can't commit more heinous acts for additional sin bits. Oh shoot, I was hoping I could. Murder equals 1 sin bit, saying something sort of weird is 1 sin bit. See, I would feel like I would need a bot to like keep track of those. What we should do is like lower the standard of sin bits, or raise the standard of sin bits, so if I do something especially sinful, I actually get a sin bit, but then it's only like 10 to transfer to the nuggies. Something like that. Because then we're just inflating it. We don't want inflated sin bits. No, no, no. You can't print sins. Well, actually, you can print sins. Print $100 bills, no problem. Sorry, man, rules are rules. Alright, you got me there. Fair enough. Can't argue with that. Can we do anything else here? So we gotta keep messing with WRAM. That's why we gotta keep on doing it. I don't make the rules. Who makes the rules? Wait a minute. Oh, I know who makes the rules. I know exactly who makes the rules. Actually, I do? Oh. Alright, fair enough. If you make the rules, then why don't you do them in favor of yourself? 1 sin bit equals 40 nuggies. I mean, that would be my rule. If I hated myself and I wanted to eat nothing but nuggies all the time. I think my roommate gets sick off nuggies a little bit earlier today too. They're sinful in themselves. But also the part of the place we bought them from isn't too quality. It's a bad place. Got some hats missing. I don't know if I like any of these new ones. I think we got the clown vomit and that was good. Like we can mess with the mountains in the background. Nope, sorry. Excuse me. Excuse me. What? No, keep going. No, it died. We can't break the sin bit economy for personal gain. True, very true. People have tried doing that in World of Warcraft for the longest time. It is not a good sign. Ooh. Simon Greedwell. No, yeah, you can't break that economy. The economy is fragile of sins. It's been built for thousands of years upon very important principles. You can't just throw that away. I understand now. I don't know where I was coming from. Straight out of left field, I guess. Okay. This is the result of a crash, so it's not going to look too pretty in the end. We might keep it, we might not. I can't decide. It's a late night for me, though. Usually I'm in bed around noon. Or, not noon. Midnight? I'm in bed around noon. I wake up at noon. Think about it like this. I'm Ben Bernanke. What? Bernanke. My rules are the Federal Reserve, and a chicken nugget is the American dollar. Is that quoted from something? Why do I not know that? It sounds like it's very, like, ingrained to society, and that I should absolutely know what that is, and you should be offended that I don't know what it is. Ben Bernanke. Maybe I should look up that name. That might give me a hint. I'm not paying attention to chat. I think I look up Ben Bernanke, who is an American economist at Brookings Institution, who served 2 chairs as... Oh, at the Federal Reserve. Oh, Federal Reserve! Ah, I understand now. Okay. My rules are the Federal Reserve. That makes more sense now. And a chicken nugget is the American dollar. Rightfully so. I mean, what could be more American than the chicken nugget itself? Like, that should be the new standard economy. Or at least they should be interchangeable. If I wanted to exchange $1, not for gold. Come on, not for gold. I want to exchange $1 for a chicken nugget. Perfect 1-to-1 ratio. I can go to any bank and have my dollars exchanged for chicken nuggets. Hands down, that should be a rule. That should be in the Constitution. I don't know laws. When your chicken nugget jokes go over Sparky's head, I'm not the smartest chicken nugget in the bucket. I'm not, well, I guess that was a KFC joke. Those aren't chicken nuggets, those are chicken wings. See, I don't even know nugget culture. I can't even get that down. That's shameful. That's sinful almost, but not quite. It's getting close to it though. You can see I'm out of practice with sanitizing corruptions because this is taking me much longer than it should. Instead of the gold standard, we'll switch to the nug standard. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It should be the nug standard, all the way around. You can either exchange it for 1 chicky nug, 1, if it's legal in your state, green nug, or $1. See? Send a stash. We got that one finished up. We'll call this Blood Mountain. Blood Mountain. Every American dollar will be backed by a chicken nugget in a vault somewhere. Will those keep well? I think they would. I don't see why they wouldn't. Chicken nuggets keep extremely well for years on end. Oh, my controller is set up. I thought I'd have to reset it up. Do we want to be... Oh, why do I even ask? Of course we want to be... Carmano? Like, come on. Do you want to be Steve? Pink hat. Not even going the entire way. Do you want to be Billy with his ruffles? Do you want to be Bob, spit in a can Bob? Or do you want to be Cormano? Cormano is the best. You want to be Steve? You don't want to be Cormano? The hat is too good? Look at this hat though! It's like a pimp hat! Look at that! It's purple, it's got studs on it. I mean, that hat's alright. he's copying Billy to the T. It's the exact same hat as Billy's. Bob doesn't even wear a hat because he's too cool for hats. But Cormano. This game is Sunset Riders, so I've watched Popo play a lot, and he seems to like it a lot. So that's why I wanted to make some corruptions for it, so he can play the corruptions on stream. Oh my god, thank you for the bits! Thank you for all 100 bits. You know what we forgot? Alerts! We need alerts, but thank you for the bits, man. I appreciate it. We'll go with Steve, don't you worry. We'll get that started. In the meantime, let me go copy my alerts from this window. Hi, old corruption window. This is our old corruption stuff. We don't use that stuff anymore. I don't even know what this one is. Can I delete this? I'm gonna hide the window. I don't know if I can delete that because it might break stuff. I don't really care who you choose. We're all for Steve, don't you worry. Steve is a vital member of this team. Copy. Copy. Do we want to paste a reference or do we want to paste a duplicate? We want to paste a duplicate because if I, for some reason, need to delete that other window, which I think I'm going to, I'd rather have a duplicate than a reference. Okay, events. Oh, my event window. I don't even know where to stick that. There, I guess. We're not going to do events. We don't need events. Well, maybe we do. There's 2 Spigulers events. If you haven't seen those, oh, we also got a new follow. When did that happen? National Fun Post Agency. Thank you if you're looking around. Well, I guess it's small enough. I'll leave it there. I just think it's funny to have a strong opinion and be unreasonable about things. I think strong opinions are very important because I don't have very strong opinions. So if you have a strong opinion, I'm going straight for it. Also, the music is peaking. You see that? The music is too loud. I'm glad that we have this equalizer. It's fantastic. It's quieter for me and it's also quieter for you guys. Events alerts is now set up, and chat box. Is that set up? Text a hi. Yes, it is. I unfortunately have too many strong opinions. I try not to have any. If I have a strong opinion, like it will take 2 seconds to convince me of something else. Rather, I should say, I will just ignore the conversation. I don't like having, like, especially politics. I cannot talk politics. I get annoyed so fast. Not actually like angry in that sense, but I just don't want to talk about them in any sense of the word. So I'll just either like ignore the conversation or just change the subject as soon as I can because I don't want to talk about it. I hate arguing with people. I hate confrontation in general. So that's why I try to avoid whenever I can. Okay. I made a save here. This is where I'm gonna corrupt next. Right there. See if we get any neat corruptions on this. Yeah, but I don't think there's anything wrong with having strong opinions. I think having strong opinions is probably a good thing. It means you stand for something, you know? And as long as you're good at arguing it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I should warn people with this one. Well, I guess it broke anyway. If anyone in the stream chat, I don't even know how many people there are right now. I don't watch my numbers. I used to because I have this other laptop, but I have Minecraft running on there now, so I don't pay attention to it. But if anyone's lurking around, and they might be sensitive to flashing lights, loud sounds, bright colors, forewarning, we will have a lot of that stuff on the stream. We've seen a little bit of flashing thus far, but I should warn you, it might get a lot more intense, so you may need to remove yourself if that is the case. Big forewarning for this stream and all other corruption streams. It's a very common practice. Very unavoidable thing, unfortunately. Also, Spigulers, I love that hand emote. You have taken that to a whole new level. What is that called? FB block? Is that Facebook block? FB, I don't know what that stands for, but that hand, like, what was the other one you do a lot? It's the Spigular face, it's the FB block. Football block, not Facebook. Get out of here. And spaghetti. There we go. Slap that spaghetti. I'm gonna lock this down. I'm starting to get blinded. Let's get back to the game. Pause that. Oh, I guess, so we were looking at this one. I don't know if it was that interesting. This one. It kind of slowly fades out, and then it just dies. I don't want to keep it. It looks nice, and I don't want that all around because you're gonna play it for 2 seconds, you're gonna think it's broken, and you're gonna take it out. So let's move on. This one had the text a little off kilter. Nothing else outside of that. It's actually kind of cool, even though it's not an intentional timeline. The sound up at the top looks like it's a timeline. Because as we're going through, we're loading the same corruption again, and you see the same waveforms go through. That's a very pretty one. I try to have star fields whenever possible, or just some effect. Oh, there's the flashing. There's the game. I just like Clown Vomit. It looks amazing. Also, I've never played this game before. Forewarning, I don't know what this game is. Oh, we got an upgrade. Okay, cool. Begone. Who's that? Tepelo. Spagullos is just Facebook block. Oh, I'm gonna keep messing that up. Football block and everything. How about there's another good one. Well, I like ducks. I do like ducks a lot, but I'm gonna use a duck here. I don't like what's the name of them? Geese. I don't like geese. Geese are just assholes. I have a very strong opinion about how terrible geese are. Look at that fancy jump up there. I can't wait to create corrupt gameplay. We're not gonna do that yet, though. We're gonna still try to corrupt here a tiny bit. See if we get anything else out of it. He's wanted dead or alive. Preferably dead. It's another 6-day work week. I wonder what my work week is if I convert it to work days. I'd say I have like a 5-day work week. Like, mine's not too bad. But I'm sorry to hear you have a 6-day work week. That sounds just so stressful to do so often, you know? Also very pretty. If you'd like a quilts, by the way, I'm offering... Oh, I don't like that. My window shouldn't be there. Or my mouse shouldn't be there. If you'd like a tech support quilt, you can find it on, not my merch store, because I don't have a merch store. You can go ask a homeless man to throw up on a blanket, and you will find... Where the hell did we go? Did I lose it? There it is. You can ask a homeless man, or also a clown. Clowns usually work the best, because they have special colors in their immune system. Ask them to throw up a blanket. You get a tech support. Quilts, don't send it to me. Don't send me pictures. I don't want to see it. Be proud that you have a piece of history, and I'll say it at that. Need like a week off? Yeah, you need a vacation, man. Also, I hate taking vacations because you're given vacation days, but for vacation days I never actually go anywhere. I just stay at home. I feel like I should go somewhere, but then I also like sitting at home and not doing anything. Like, that's the best. I love doing that. There's nothing like sitting at home doing absolutely nothing. I felt like if I went out for a week and, like, I don't know, went to Hawaii or something, I don't know where I'd go for vacation. I don't have a lot of ideas. But if I went out and spent like a week on probably what I would consider to be an exhausting trip, because I'm not a very social person, it would be exhausting for me to have to interact with people for an entire week. Unless I'm with like an SO or something like that. Like with a significant other, it'd probably make it a lot better. You just spend your time with them, magical. But alone, why not do that alone? That sounds terrible. So I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I guess that's my only way to say it. Vacations are not my cup of tea. I went on a weird tangent. I'm sorry, I go on a lot of weird tangents. Hopefully they're appropriate. I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep that or not. It was a very pretty corruption. Oh, so what I did is I took a photo and I put that in odd room. I guess that's good enough. Okay. We're not gonna corrupt here anymore. Nope, we're done with that. Load the safe corruption. And once we get into the game, we're gonna start corrupting the actual gameplay, which would be an interesting thing to do. Starts. There we are. There's our man. There is Mr. Steve, as they like to call him. Now let's corrupt some gameplay and see what we can get out of it. I'm trying to shoot in all these instances. This one, oh, it's too bad it's not permanent. We can make it permanent. Where you shoot, but nothing happens. Your gun is loaded with blanks. And if you shoot behind you... Oh, even if you turn behind you. If you shoot behind yourself... Well, before it went to the title screen, this time it just broke. It was just like, we're done. We're not loading this game anymore. Full fatal crash. I wish some of these systems actually gave us, like, blue screens or something like that, so we can actually take a look at what went wrong. Like, an X out of bound error or something like that. But of course, it's not that. There's nothing that checks stuff like that. I just like seeing blue screens to death. There's a... what would you call it? A while ago, I corrupted Windows 2000 for the NES, and I corrupted the Russian version, which does not have a blue screen of death. However, the Chinese version of Windows 2000 for the NES does have a blue screen of death. And I would like to corrupt that in the future, but I'm not sure if I will. I would like to, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. If I can remind myself to do so, maybe. If anyone reminds me. I have a bad memory with most things. Ooh, look at this! Oh my god! That looks amazing! You know what this looks like? It looks like a laser tag arena. I want to keep that one. Open that in the boss editor. I think everything's just like negative, but still, nonetheless. Very neat. Alright. For anyone that doesn't know how the blast editor works, I just disabled half of the corruptions, and then I looked at the window, and you noticed how it's still doing that thing where it's skipping us ahead in the level? This isn't the corruption we're looking for, it's actually one of the effects we want to get rid of. Now if I invert the ones I disabled, we'll get the nice colored effect that we want, and we also start at the beginning like we're trying to, so... Perfect all the way around, remove disabled, and let's move on. Another thing I really dislike about the new blast editor window is it's slow. Like the old one was fast-paced, didn't have any kind of delay when you would do stuff. Like I'm trying to remove the ones that are disabled, it has like a half a second delay, and you can feel it as you're moving through this quickly. It feels sluggish. It's something that used to be akin to what the Windows Glitch Harvester would do for GameCube corruptions, where you had such large corruptions, it would occasionally lag out the tiniest bit. Hey Greensy, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Doing a little bit of Sunset Riders tonight. And we're playing around with new windows, so we have new corruption windows that's been updated to a more recent version, if you will. Retail version. Can I call it that? I don't know if I keep calling it retail. I would just call it a stable release of the real-time corruptor that's been released, and that's what we're currently working with. Because I was using a very outdated version that I was very familiar with. Now I'm trying to force myself to use the new version, and I'm not having the easiest time with it, but I'm moving along with it. It feels clunky to me, in some ways. I'd like to report the clunkiness. But anyways, there's a new corruption, we're gonna call it a laser tag. Cool. I'm going to blast send it and go through with a new one. Now normally with this laser tag corruption I would click on it and I would immediately reroll to check out the other effects we can get from this corruption. But unfortunately at the moment that's not going to be all that possible because the reroll selected button is not currently working, so we gotta go into the blast editor, reroll it manually via value, and load that corruption. There we get the different effects, and that spends too long. I don't like all the work that goes through that. This one kind of looks like Ghosts and Goblins. I don't know why it gives me that vibe. Could be better, had a little bit of an embarrassing issue earlier. Is it safe to share online kind of issue, or do you want to keep it private? I'm not sure. But if you don't want to share, that's too bad to hear. Hopefully the day goes better in general. Embarrassing stuff hits me hard. I know I can't stand embarrassing things. Ghosts and Goblins, I want to get a good look at what this palette looks like, because if it does look similar, I would keep it. Not really. It's too much purple and not enough green. I can see the similarities though. It's okay to share? Oh yeah, go for it then. I'm curious what it was. I've had some fair share of embarrassing experiences in my life, and I will go to sleep almost every other day, and I will replay those embarrassing moments over and over and over again. I hate it, it haunts me. I'm not gonna keep this one, I'm gonna keep moving on. That's just hard to look at. That one's also kind of cool looking. kind of colorful green world. We would call this like maybe a ghost town or like Goblin City. But I think just overall, laser tag looks better. It has more color to it. It's not as jarring to look at. Like this has a lot more dark color to it. So we're gonna keep this one and not re-roll any further. I would like to create hybrid corruptions, so add ones to this. But for now, let's stick with this. I've been struggling with emotional control more than lately, and I turned into an excitable bumbling idiot over Discord voice chat. Gotcha! It sounds like me when I try to stream and I get excited about something. I kind of bumble as I get excited. I noticed something with what was it? The Blast Editor. Linked to something I had created like a while ago, and I got super excited and I kind of bumbled myself. So it happens, I feel it. I don't know how to get better at that either. I would give a suggestion if I knew how to do any better, but I really have no clue how to get better at not just like sort of mumbling and stumbling over my words if I get excited. I've just always kind of done that. I don't know if there is a fix. I hope there is. And hopefully I'll discover that through streaming. I think just because I'm gonna practice it more often in streaming, I'm gonna get a little bit better at that. Hopefully. This one looks a little disturbing. If you walk forward, the surroundings sort of like fill with color. Is it only that area though? No, it crashes though. So I ended up tapping my desk excitedly and going ba 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 ba. Okay, not embarrassing so far. That's understandable. Also, did we sanitize this? We did. Just making sure. Oh, this one we're covered in like Bill everywhere. Bill, 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 Bill. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Let's sanitize this so we can get that Bill corruption out. If we can. I don't know if that's gonna be possible. He's just like a mess of like clothes. Whoa! What how fast our gun is firing? That's insane! I don't know if that's an upgrade, but man, that's super fast. My friend also turned on their cam and showed their cat. Oh, I love cats. That's pretty cool. I love cats and dogs. I'm a lover of both. I think if I ever own an animal, it'll probably be a dog. If I'm in a situation that I can take care of one. At the moment, I can't. That's sweet. I do want to keep the rapid fire corruption. I do want to keep that. Let's see if we can up the shoot value and make it insanely high. We'll do that in a sec. Once we get this build corruption figured out. My dumb self just kept saying, cat, cat, and I love him. And I almost started crying. I don't think that's bad. I mean, shoot, it's a cat. Especially if it's someone that you talk to regularly, and you don't really see them in any sense of the word. And then you do, and you're like, oh my god, they have a cat! Ah. Yeah, it makes sense to be excitable. I don't blame you for that. Hopefully they weren't too judgy in that case. Down to 31, 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1. So there's the... oh shoot, I messed it up. There's the corrupted mess. Send that to the stash, but let's re-roll it. Let's try to get a better result out of this. Okay, that's nothing. Just a little bit of Bill. Also not lots. I want to get like a very conglomerated object that looks god-awful and is just filled with a bunch of sprites, if we can. That would be my preference. But I don't think I'm getting that. Because the one we had originally, it's kind of the best we're gonna get. What was the original value that we had sent into memory? It was DD. And that was this bad one? Yeah. Let's try FF as the maximum value. Oh, this one, you don't even have legs. That's great. I think she got frustrated with me. She sighed and probably left the call because I ended up not being able to form words at some point. Well, I don't think that was an appropriate response from her part. I wouldn't leave the call. I mean, shoot. Someone's excited about a cat. You can't hate on that. I wouldn't hate on that. I'm like, yeah, man, cat. Cat, yo. Okay, I don't know if I would say yo, but you know, you get the point. That's too bad. Well, I'm sorry to hear you that experience. I understand that being a little embarrassing. Hopefully they're understandable. Like, if maybe, I don't know how good of friends you are with the person, but like, I would describe myself, be like, oh, I'm sorry, I just got really excited. She was trying to calm me down and ended up getting me more excited. Gotcha. I would just write it out in a message. Explain what happened, I guess. I think that would help solve it. Oh my god, okay. There's kind of what I was looking for, but it's not okay when he's just walking. It's only when he jumps he turns into a god-awful object. BB. This one, he's always leaning. He's always having a really good time, just leaning back. Let's send that to the stash. Call this leaning. Yeah. Can we get something better than CA? I sent an apology, but she hasn't replied. It's probably just she hasn't seen it yet, you know? I doubt it's because she's specifically avoiding it at this point. Or avoiding talking to you. Yeah, I'm guessing she's just asleep. Because, I mean, people are responsive to that kind of stuff. I would hope so. If she isn't responsive to that kind of thing and it's actually just annoying, then, I mean, that's just unfair treatment on your part. Unfair treatment to you on her part, is what I would say. Because it's almost 1 AM. It's 3 AM here. I mean, shoot. Might even be 5 AM for some people. 4 AM. East Coast. I forget what time it is on the East Coast. I think it's 4 AM. Yeah. I'm gonna send this to the stash and call it Corrupted Blob. And then I wanted to keep this one, which is like a rapid fire weapon of sorts. See if we can keep that effect. That's the effect we want. Because I want to see if I can change the parameter value that creates that super fast shooting effect and make it even faster. Like unreasonably fast. I don't know how fast the gun actually fires in the real game. Hopefully fast. Quick draw! Almost 3 AM, you must be by the state where my girlfriend's from. I am in... Yeah, I'm in the mid-US. I don't know if I can say my exact state. I'm cautious of where I say I live. But yeah, I live in Central Time Zone. And yeah, 3 AM. It's 2:43. It is late. I was supposed to be working on a school project, but it got posted very late, so instead I was like, I'm gonna corrupt some. I haven't streamed in a little bit. It's good to be able to stream every once in a while. I happen to be able to stream every once in a while. It's a lot rarer than I would like it to be. I'd like to keep pulling on like 2 AM sessions, but unfortunately I haven't been able to. Haven't been able to do that Skyrim super late or anything like that. Okay, so this is the fast shoot value. Let's try reducing that down to like 3.0 in hexadecimal. Should be a slow shoot. It's not. How about if we set that just to 0? Normal fire speed. Yeah, it's understandable, not giving out your information. Oh yeah, exactly. I gotta be cautious about it. Setting that to 1 does the super fire speed, so FF is the maximum value. I think this is just a boolean. Yeah, so what we're affecting right now is just a boolean value, essentially. If it's 0, you have the upgrade. If it's 1 or anything other than 1, I'm sorry, if it's 0, you don't have the upgrade. If it's anything other than that, you have the upgrade. So We currently do. Let's play around with this address though. So we're at 148. Let's up that by 1. Ah, now we're shooting some special stuff. Look at what we're shooting. Doesn't actually go across the screen at all, but we're shooting... How about corrupted bolts? Is what we're gonna call that one. And moving along, let's go one over as well. Again. That one seems okay for the most part. Let's go to the left a couple of values. 147. That's okay. 146. 45. Maybe I should be going by bytes. I'm not really doing that. There's more of our body corruptions. Oh my god! What's that? This one's okay, but what was this thing? Where was it? Oh, there it is. Shoot, I keep missing it. Is it because we stand still? Yeah. Jesus. I want that to go back. I think that was our idle animation, but yeah. It kind of crashes too often to really see it. So let's move on. We're gonna do another random corruption. Let's start messing with these other domains though, so we can't do cart ROM because that's unrewindable. We can not do VRAM because that's just clown vomit on the screen. That one never really looks that good, like it does now. OEM might produce some interesting results. These are object files, so I'm manually blasting to see if anything's stored here. Doesn't look like it is. Occasionally you would like store sprites here, or maybe the bullets that we're shooting are stored there. None of which are in this case. CG RAM, I've always seen to be kind of color, but it depends on where the color's being applied. I think it's only on the home screen, because the home screen looks very nice. So, CG RAM, no effect. APU RAM is the sound. There goes the audio. We killed the audio, in fact. We can try going to this section and just doing small intensities. Of like maybe 50 or so. You can hear a little bit of the corruption, a little bit of wonkiness. That was just one monotone sound. God. There we go. We'll call this out of tune. I like that one a lot. Can we affect that further and make it way, way out of tune? We have to sanitize it a tad. I want to make sure I'm not removing the effect by accident. As I hear it over and over again, the corruption effect sort of gets away from me and I can't tell what's happening. See, I can't tell the difference anymore, so I have to stick with the original, this one. It's too bad we can't reroll selected, because if I could, I would just load all those values. It would be, I would hit the reroll selected button and it would be entirely new corruption, but that doesn't work apparently. I can open this in the blast editor, can I? Oh, I can select all of them and do this. So reroll all selected items. But you notice we're not really hearing anything new. So, yeah. I think we're good. Alright, moving on. There we go. Fast music. That sounds great, actually. I love it. One monotone. I like the knocking. I wish that would have kept going. Oh yeah, it does. What is that? Is that the firing? Wait. Fire. No, it's not. Just in general, there's some knocking in the music. Some cowbell. No. Ooh. Ooh, that sounds amazing! Let's keep this. It reminds me of like Donkey Kong Country. Because is kind of minimal. This sounds awesome! I love it! Okay, cool. Let's keep that. Alright, let's stop messing with that and mess with the system bus now. And as we're coming up to 3 AM, I think I gotta call it for the night. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back to the stream immediately on the next corruption stream and finish up on the stockpile. That's what I think I'm gonna do. So let's save this for the time being. We're gonna do a save as, call it Sunset Writers Stockpile. Good. That is correctly saved, right? Yes. Okay. We can pause the game and pull up some music. And just because it's getting late, it's almost 3 AM, I gotta go to sleep. But we're gonna pick that up next time because I do want to transfer those corruptions to Mr. Popo. I want some quality ones though, so I want to keep working on the stockpile. Normally we may leave the corruption stream here, but I want to keep working on it. So the next corruption stream we would do will be again Sunset Riders, and we'll do that as quickly as we can. The next available chance I have. But in the meantime, let's go and transition. We can do some Starbound. How about what's a good song? I'm bad at Starbound songs, even though I played all. Atlas. Does that sound good? No, I don't like Atlas. That's too exciting. Let's do Haiku. Perfect. Alright. Bye to my camera. I'm going to transition screens, but stick around. Because we're going to talk about our host and what we did tonight, what the future streams are going to be like. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff all at once. So this is sort of out of the blue stream. I didn't have a lot of plans to do this tonight, but as I said, I was waiting on that project to be posted, and it didn't get posted until very, very late, and at that point I was already set on streaming, so I decided to do it anyway. I don't think I'll be doing a stream tomorrow. If I do, it would be with Oblivion, I think. And have a good night, Greensea. I appreciate you stopping by. If we do one tomorrow, it'll be Oblivion. It'll probably be like an hour long or something like that. If I can squeeze it in, I'll be working on that project from early in the morning till late at night. So we're working on creating a new operation for C++, essentially. So a faster, optimized way of allocating memory and dealing with memory allocation and stuff like that. So it's a lot to wrap my head around, and I'm gonna need a lot of time to work on it. But that's what I'm working on currently. So the streams are a little bit on hold for that time being. Yeah, I think that's it for tonight, though. I'm glad we got to do the panels. I'm really happy I got all of those narrowed down for the most part. I might tweak them a tiny bit, but I think they're how I like them for RTC Corruptions. Let's go and double check someone we're gonna host tonight. Switch over to twitch.tv and find somebody. I was watching Mr. Popo before this stream. I think I'm gonna host Mr. Popo as well. I am gonna post... Can I do a shout out? There's another individual who I was going to host, but I'm gonna go show a little love to Popo tonight. Go check out both Wasabi Tonic and Popo and Duck. We're gonna host Popo and Duck in just a moment. But go check out Wasabi Tonic too. He's part of the stream team and he's streaming as well. Sometimes we gotta pick and choose who we host. But yeah. Popo's doing a little bit of Dreamcast. Hopefully he'll do some Jet Set Radio. It's one of my favorite games in the past. I don't know what he's playing currently, though. So I guess he'll check that out. But yeah, have a great night, everyone. I'll see you all in the next one, which will either be tomorrow night, or sometime in the near future. Have a great one, and I'll see you then.